All right, guys, the Mavericks win a fucking nuts game. Just insane stuff, this game that we just saw. I mean, how did this game even get to this point? I don't really know. I'm obviously happy about the win. I'm happy about Jalen Brunson. He played his ass off. And it's funny because during the game, throughout the chat, to the chat, during the game, in the stream is what I meant to say. If you're not subscribed, make sure you do so. We stream almost every single Mavs game. I was kind of saying the Mavs have backed themselves into a corner when it comes to paying Jalen Brunson. They should. They need to. He's going to be worth it. He's one of only two guys on this team who is capable of dribbling the basketball. But because of all your other terrible contracts, it makes things a little bit weird. The Mavs would have to go into the tax to pay Brunson, and I'm hoping that Cuban's willing to do that. I'm not going to lie to you guys. His track record in recent years has not been very good when it comes to the cap. But in his defense, the Mavs haven't really had a team good enough to justify going into the luxury tax. So I'm hoping that, the Mavs keep Brunson. It's not going to be cheap. I've seen some Mavs fans say 10 to 12 million. It's going to be closer to 20, guys. Brunson's going to be closer to 20 million, especially if he keeps playing the way that he's been playing so far this season. I mean, the Mavs lose tonight without Brunson. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Mavs lose tonight without him. You saw it in the fourth quarter. Luka was literally defaulting to him. Brunson brought the ball up to the court. Brunson had the ball in the half-court setting, was initiating the offense, was running the offense, and Luka was standing off in the corner. Now, that's been a big criticism of Luka, is that he doesn't want to defer. We saw it tonight. The issue is the Mavs haven't really had players where Luka is comfortable deferring. But if what we've seen from Brunson so far this season is legitimate, and he's taken this big leap forward into being a player that you can constantly rely on to create his own offense, and his playmaking's even taken a step up too, then that's a pretty huge difference in this team. Now, Luka's got to play better. Like, I know that we're early on in the season, and Luka's had his struggles early on in the season, but I mean, we're 8 games in. It's time to start playing better, because he's just straight up been so far this season. Has not been playing at an all-NBA level. I wouldn't even say he's been playing at an all-star level so far this season. It has been rough. And he looked really good to start this game. I thought we were getting a patented Luka performance. I thought Luka played well last night. We saw, Luka playing aggressively early on in this game. It looked like he was cruising to a triple-double. He was hitting mid-range shots. He was hitting deep threes, catch-and-shoot threes. Is that something he's added to his game, by the way? He's been shooting a bunch of catch-and-shoot threes lately, which I'm here for. If Luka's going to become like a spot-up shooter, hey, a little assist from Josh Green, huh? I said in the stream that I am retiring the Josh Green cam, by the way. It's a thing that I've had on the stream. Here it is. What I would do is usually if, Josh Green got a counting stat, I would come here to the Josh Green cam and show you guys. Look, guys, Josh Green got an assist. Look, guys. But I'm not going to lie. I think I'm retiring it. Okay, Josh Green just does not look like an NBA player. God bless him. But, yeah. But the second half was brutal for Luka. He was horrible. Ugly turnovers, forced shots. I don't know what the hell that is. You had how many air balls did Luka have tonight? Luka had a handful of air balls. Here's another one in the fourth quarter, just a tough shot. That's kind of his spot, but he's just short on everything. He just looks exhausted again. And this is stuff that needs to be cleaned up. But yeah, I'm not trying to be too negative. I'll talk about the stuff I didn't like here in a second. But let's talk about Jalen Brunson, man. Because he deserves so much praise for what we saw tonight. The way he took over this game in the fourth quarter was remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. And this is what Brunson does, is his ability to, drive. He does that as well as any guard in the league. I'm comfortable saying that. We've seen it now for really ever since he's came into the league, but more specifically the past 2 seasons. Brunson has been remarkable at driving and finishing. He's always towards the top of the list when it comes to guards. But here he is right here. I mean, adding this little mid-range fading jump shot over a tall, what is Doug McDermott, 6'6", 6'7"? Brunson doesn't care. He was hunting Doug McDermott. It looked really reminiscent to what Luka does sometimes, where he hunts a mismatch. I mean, Brunson was just hunting Doug McDermott. Here he is right here, 1-point game, 23 seconds left in the game. This little hop-step jumper. I mean, that's huge stuff right there. That is big-time stuff from Jalen Brunson to do that at that stage in the game. Huge. I thought Tim Hardaway played fine, too. I thought he played good. The consistency needs to be a little bit better from Tim, but I thought he played well. There's a deep 3 right there. Aggressive. That's the thing that we've seen over the past couple seasons with Tim, and why I was 100% okay with paying him what we ended up paying him. When going into the season last year, I was kind of under the impression that, yeah, Tim's great. I love Tim. I don't know if it makes sense for us to pay him that much money. But he, throughout the season last year, showed that, he was much more aggressive off the dribble and driving. Something like this right here. Just pump fake, driving to the rim, dunking. That's the stuff in Tim Hardaway's game that has really improved over the past couple of seasons. So it's good to see right there. Look, the issues with the Mavs are still there. The issue with the Mavs, they're very apparent, man. It's missed shots. I talked about that in my post-game recap last night. It's missed open threes. Dorian, the Mavs had two tough decisions this upcoming offseason, which is paying Brunson and paying Dorian. Dorian's making that decision very easy for them. Okay, I know everyone loves him, and admittedly, people overrate the glue guy on their teams. People always overrate the glue guy. I just don't know if it makes that much sense paying Dorian Finney-Smith so far from what we've seen so far. I just don't think so. Here's what I'm talking about too. Brunson obviously had an amazing game, but this is kind of the gist of what's going on with this Mavs team. Good looks, just missing them. And some of these shots will start to fall. Is Dorian going to be this bad of a shooter all season long? No. Is Dorian not going to be a 40% shooter like he was last year? I don't think so. Is Luka going to be this terrible shooting all season long? I don't think so. Hopefully not. I mean, Jesus. Hopefully not. Some other negatives. The rim protection's not there. Granted, we don't have KP. We don't have Kleba, who are our two best rim protectors. But even it's not like they're elite rim protectors, right? It's not like they're elite rim protectors. I mean, just look how easy it is. Like, what the hell is Dwight Powell doing? Again, I'm not going to talk about Dwight Powell. I've said my piece with Dwight Powell. My stance on Dwight Powell is the guy shouldn't be playing. So I'm not going to go too hard on Dwight Powell because he shouldn't be out there. He just should not be out there. It seems like I'm just so at a loss of what he does. This was a big moment in the game right here. He couldn't catch a pass. Again, I'm not talking about him. Who I will talk about, though, is Sterling Brown, who's awful. Sterling Brown is bad, and his minutes have got to go. Like, Sterling Brown's going to be one of these offseason additions the Mavs have. The Mavs have these guys every once in a while. I remember Wes Iwundu last year, James Johnson, guys who the Mavs bring in the offseason and say, oh, they're going to be good, and then they're gone by midseason. That's what I see Sterling Brown as. The guy is just really not a good player. Really not a good player. He just seems to have no idea what's going on a nightly basis, okay? But again, I'm done being negative. Just gonna be honest with you guys. I don't know how many wins we'll be able to celebrate this year. Just full stop. So I'm done being negative. Boban looked really good. Looked really good in this game. Again, in the Mavs, everyone in the chat, every time Boban has a good game, everyone in the chat, so I was like, oh my God, Boban needs to start. Boban needs to start. The reason why Boban looks so good when he does play is the Mavs know when to deploy him, right? The Mavs know when the right time for Boban is, the favorable matchup. Take, for example, tonight against the Spurs, no Jakob Poeltl. The Spurs wanted to go small. Every time Thad Young checked in the game, it was a small ball five. Boban went in immediately. I like that from Jason Kidd, by the way, and just tortured him. And Thad Young had to come out. They put Drew Eubanks in. Drew Eubanks is not a good player at all. Brought Drew Eubanks in. Drew Eubanks is not a threat offensively whatsoever. So having Boban out there really, you could do it. You could live with it because there's really no risk because it's not like there's any offensive post players for the Spurs, and Boban played really well tonight. Like seeing that. Obviously, Boban playing well is always fun. And there was another thing I wanted to show from Tim Hardaway that I really liked. Tim Hardaway's passing is really good tonight. I don't know if I have any clips of it, but I really like Tim Hardaway's passing tonight. I thought that it was really, really good. Is this an example right here? Let me see. Is this an example right here? Yeah, it is. Look at this entry pass from Tim. That's really good stuff right there. Putting it in a place only Boban could catch it. Good stuff. So again, it was an ugly win. Like I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was an ugly win. The Mavs missed a lot of shots, turned the ball over, I think 10 times at the end of the first half. That's why the Mavs were up 1 at the first half, and I thought they played really well. Like I thought Luka was playing well, Tim was playing well, Brunson was playing well. You got good production from Boban. I was shocked they were only up 1. Missed shots, turnovers. Those things can't happen when your team is, lacking in the talent department. You have to play damn near perfect. And the third quarter was a disaster. But shout out to the team for bouncing back and fighting back. Shout out to Jalen Brunson, he played great. Only 3 players on the bench scored, and Frank had 2 points, and 2 of those points were very late free throws. And he hit both of them. So shout out to Frank for hitting those 2 big free throws down the stretch. But really, you got 17 from Boban, which is an anomaly. Let's just be honest. That shit's not. You can't rely on that on a nightly basis. And 5 from everyone else. That's the problem with starting Brunson. You have to start Brunson now. That's where you're at. You pretty much have to start Brunson. I love it. It's another ball handler alongside Luka, but the issue is those are your only two. Those are the only 2 guys on the team who can dribble, Luka and Brunson. So who's running the bench unit? They were staggering minutes. They had Brunson and Luka starting, but they were staggering minutes. That's why Luka's a minus 17, Brunson's a plus 13, even though they both started. Was because Kidd did a good job staggering their minutes. So Brunson got to sit. Luka got a rest. Brunson was running the bench unit essentially. But I mean, I haven't really been that big on Goran Dragic. It'd be cool, but I haven't been like that big on him. But if the Mavs want to start Brunson, they need to go get a secondary creator who can lead the bench unit. And Goran Dragic at this stage in his career, I feel like he could do that. The Spurs, I thought, played well. Vassell, they just went away from him. Devin Vassell, they just went away from him. Vassell, I always fuck up his name. Okay, he played great, and then it just felt like in the fourth quarter that he just barely touched the ball. He looked really, really good, though. I liked what I saw from him. Keldon Johnson has the ultimate green light around the rim. That guy was just throwing up crazy-ass shots. Just crazy-ass shots. I have him on my fantasy team, so 16 points on 7 of 18 shooting. Ugly stuff. Yeah, I mean, let's just be real. The Spurs team, they're not great. They're going to be one of the bottom teams in the West. So, you got to win these games. And they are always tough, no matter how, what either of these teams look like. This matchup's always one of those matchups where both teams play really hard. So we'll take the win, even though it wasn't very pretty, right? Despite the disastrous start, despite how ugly the Mavs look at times, they're 5-3. So at least we have that going for us, huh? At least we have that going for us. All right, I'm out of here, man. You guys, let me know what you guys think about the Mavs so far this season. They play the Celtics on Saturday night, and then the Pelicans on Monday night. 2 games that you need to win, because you play the who do they play next week? They play a tough team next week. Oh, they play the Bulls next week, which, I mean, from what we've seen so far from this team against good teams, is a guaranteed loss. So win these next 2 games, and we might be one of these teams that just feed off bottom feeders all year long. But we'll see. We'll see how this all plays out. Okay, Mavs win. I'm happy about it. Subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. All right, goodbye.